Today we'll show you how to install a massive battery externally for your iPhone to replace the original iPhone battery. This is about 3 times the size of the original iPhone battery, or 6 times the size, or 9 times the size of the original battery. Depends on how much runtime that you want. And this is not the regular USB power bank that you use your USB cable and plug it in your phone to charge your phone. This is the actual battery of the phone that replaces the original battery. So I've been using my iPhone 5 for a while now, and I have been replacing quite a few batteries, and I'm getting tired of it. These batteries are not cheap. These are original battery. I don't want to use third-party battery. Plus it wastes a lot of time to open up the phone and trying to replace the battery, which is really a pain in the rear end. So today I'm gonna remove the internal battery out of the phone and install a new battery, bigger and better battery outside the phone. And this process would work with any iPhone, not just the iPhone 5, but basically it would just work with any phone. So here I have my iPhone 5s. The process would be the same for iPhone 5. So first you gotta do is to remove the screen to expose the internal of the phone. There are 2 screws on the bottom of the phone, and remove these 2 screws, and then you can pry it off from the bottom. Okay, just get a knife and pry it off from the bottom, and then you can just pry it up from the bottom first. And here's the battery that I'm going to replace with the dead battery. You can see how significantly bigger that is. It's thicker, and it's wider, and it's longer too. So every dimension is bigger. I think this battery is about 2.5 to 3 times the size of the original iPhone battery. So I'm gonna have about 2.5 to 3 times the capacity compared to the original iPhone battery. So this battery I salvaged for an old laptop computer, and they come in all shapes and sizes. Depends on what laptop you're trying to salvage from. But I guess I can use any of these. But I think this will fit the best on my phone. You can see that fit perfectly. The other ones are fine too. I mean, see, this one is fine, just a little bit smaller. Even this one is okay, I guess. Let's try this one. This one is a bit too big, so won't be ideal. This one is the best. So basically this battery here is exactly the same as this battery. You can see the terminal on the top here. It's just exactly the same, except that it's a little bit bigger. That's all. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut the terminals, and I'm gonna use the BMS and solder it onto the new battery. And because this new battery is too big to fit inside the phone, I'm gonna have to drill a hole and run the wire from the inside to the outside of the phone, and then connect to the terminal of the battery. I have to use this original connector to connect to the phone, and it's very short, so I don't have enough wire to go from the inside to the outside of the phone to connect to my battery. So I'm gonna have to use a wire and solder it to here and run through a hole that I'm gonna drill on the phone to the outside. So the wire I'm gonna use is this wire. It's very small and thin wire. It's perfect for this application. The phone doesn't use much current, so I can afford to use very small wire This wire came from a TV. This is the LCD flex cable, and this connector goes straight to the actual LCD itself. One important thing is you have to connect the terminal of the BMS to the new battery in the right way. So the way to find the positive and negative terminal of the BMS is to just use a voltmeter. See there, I got 0.4 volts. So this terminal is positive. Let me show you what's inside here before I put everything back together. I've connected the battery connector right there. Wire goes out to here and through the hole out to the external battery. And that's it. Now that I've got everything connected, all the connectors are connected, let's turn it on. See that it does not want to turn on. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take my charging cable and plug it in. Boom. There we go, you see the battery icon, and boom, now it turns on, and that's it. There we go, it's on. It's good to go now. Externally powered. And charge it about 73%. And let me show you the inside again. Show you there's nothing inside. No battery inside the phone, just the connector right there. It's completely empty inside. Only powered by this external battery. That's it, and it's being charged. Let me zoom in here so you can see it's being charged. See there? 73% charging. Now I'm gonna disconnect the cable to let it only powered by the battery. There we go. Connector is out. Phone is on. There we go. Completely empty inside. Time to put it back together. So here's the final product. This battery has a silver color, so it blends in really well with my phone, which has the same color. The wires are tucked inside, nice and neat, all held by double-sided tapes. On the top, I also cover up the terminal with tapes to protect them from being shorted out. It also makes the battery less conspicuous. The original Apple battery weighs 25 grams, whereas the new battery weighs 64 grams. That's almost 3 times the weight, so I would get roughly 3 times the runtime. I can compare it this way because they are exactly the same chemistry. The only difference is the size. I don't use my phone that much, so with the original battery, I usually get around 45 days before I have to recharge my phone. So with a new battery, I can get about 2 weeks before I have to recharge it. If I want more runtime, I can just put another battery in parallel and get 1 month of battery life. And I can keep going, put another one in parallel and get more runtime that way. If I can get 26 cells stacked together, I can run my phone for a whole year before I have to recharge it. Not only can I get more runtime, I can turn my phone into a brick, and I can use it for personal protection. I'm just kidding. But seriously, since my battery is now external, if it ever goes bad, all I have to do is to desolder the 2 wires, remove the dead battery, and slap a new battery on it. I'll never have to open up my phone again to replace the doggone battery. Apple should have done this for all iPhones, but they just want to make life a little bit harder for all of us to struggle. And with a bigger battery, because it's 3 times the runtime, I don't have to recharge it that often anymore. Now the cycle count of the new battery is 3 times less. And so theoretically, the new battery's longevity is 3 times longer before it dies. It might last even longer since the new battery now doesn't have to work that hard. I've seen some people who are on the phone all the time using social media like Facebook or Instagram, talking on the phone with friends and family, texting. Their phone's battery barely lasts 1 day before they have to plug it in. So this hack would be perfect to free yourself from the plug if you are one of those people. And that's all for now. Next video, I'm going to use some silicone cornstarch mix to make a case for this phone because now my original iPhone case doesn't fit anymore. Until then, I'll see you next time.